This video is going to be on the during phase of your client's journey. Now, if you missed the first one, they're very short, digestible. It's going to be linked up here. You can click on that, watch it, extremely short, so you get your bearings, watch that, come back into this one. Now, in the during phase of the business, we've just spoke about messaging in the previous video. Now, our messaging is how we get our client to raise their hand to say, hey, I like you. You're an electrician that looks trustworthy. You've got experience. You've got authority. I would like to use you in my home and our business. So now that we have our messaging, we're like, where the fuck do you put it, Alan? So what we need to do, and this is the importance of starting at the start with your target market, you need to figure out your target market and get inside their head and know their problems more than they know their problems, so you can attack them first, plant the seeds, and get them to reach out to you. So with that, when we speak about media, everybody, when they start their business, thinks they have to go on TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Google Business Profile, website. Who knows? Your ideal client might just be a warm referral that can give you enough work to keep a team of 2 or 3 going. You don't even need a website for that kind of client. It just depends on your relationships, your connections, how in you are with them. However, on the flip side of that, if you're starting from ground zero, from scratch, you've got no connections, you need to build these connections up. But without authority, you cannot build these connections. It's like wearing a suit going to a wedding. If you wear a tracksuit going to a fucking wedding, you will not be taken seriously. Imagine if you were a groomsman at a wedding and you rocked up. Everybody's suited in their 3-piece suits. You're there in your fucking Adidas tracksuit, 2-piece matching, and you're handing out the ring and fucking people are looking at you going, what the fuck is he at? It's the same principle. You might laugh at that, but it's the same fucking principle of you trying to get in with a big company, to get in with a real estate, to get in with a strata, to get in with Mrs. Smith down the road. If you don't have the basic set, which is your media, that they can cross-check you, stalk you, check your Google Business Profile, check your website to see, like, is this guy the real deal? Have they got authority? Have they got reviews? This is so big. And it's something people miss, something you consistently see in threads is, how do I get work? And then people are like, just do this, just do that. They're missing the fundamentals. The fundamentals need to be put into place before you start these outreach systems. Media is super important, but you have to strategize. You do not have to advertise across every platform. You just need to know exactly where your client hangs out, where you can potentially remarket to them or market to them. That is where you need to be. That's where your focus needs to go. If you water down your focus and you focus on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., it waters it down. If you focus on the core areas where your clients are actually going to be, that's going to get them in the door. And don't do random acts of marketing. Usually what happens is when people go quiet, they will then do a burst or a random email, which is the total wrong thing to do. It usually stinks of desperation when you blast an email of a ceiling fan special that's happening today. This isn't the correct type of marketing to do in your media. In my opinion, how media operates is you're going to have your Google and Google Business Profile, generally are the main sources. Facebook, Instagram, local presence. Then you're going to have your emails, which are going to be your retention system. That is going to be warm clients who've already paid you. They get re-warmed up again. They're the media that I preference. That is the strategy I use, and it is just simple. Keep things simplistic, and that's going to get people in your door. What media realistically is the vehicle to pass your messaging to your client. Your media, online and offline, is only going to take you so far, and that's why I'm going to speak about finding work. Finding work is a system in itself. So yes, you've got your online presence, you've got your offline presence with your flyers and stuff, but there is going to be a stagnant stage in business, and that's what I stress to my members. There are going to be stages of your electrical business that are going to be fucking horrible. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be stressful until that next job comes in. In my honest opinion, step one of finding work as a new electrical business, not even that. If you're an established electrical business, you've left your marketing go. You've lost one big connection or 2 big connections. You might have dropped the builder. You might have had a client that was sending you loads of work for, let's say, for instance, Airbnbs, rentals, stuff like that, where you had consistent work coming in. You lose them. All of a sudden, you're down to 2 days a week. It's up to you to outreach to people in your close network. That is step one for finding work. For example, your friends of friends, their friends, your family's friends, your dad or mum's best mate. Who do they know that is a mutual acquaintance to you that you can essentially get work from or send work to? Create a partnership, or else it might just be somebody looking for work in that close circle. Do work for them, so on and so forth. There's a whole system and a strategy around it. We did a session on it in my mentorship. There's systems and everything, but this is just lightly over the top of where to find work as step one. There's so many different avenues you can actually go down with your electrical business to find work. It's not always just go straight for ads. I mean, there's strategic partners, there's tradie partners, there's business referrals, there's regular referrals. there is builders, there's strata, real estate, all these avenues, but they all have got a system attached to them. It's not as simple as just going, hey, can I have work? There is a strategy to every single one of these that you need to follow to make sure that you do get that work, or you at least get a foot in the door. Your messaging's working, your media is working, it's converting, it's getting leads, you're getting phone calls, you're getting inquiries. How are you handling all of this? This is, in my opinion, the first star of your 5-star review is the first port of call with your client. If you think about it, they've seen your messaging online, they've liked it. They've seen your marketing online, they've liked it. What that is looking through the window of a shop in at something and you like the look of it. Now, what's happened is the shop owners come out, and that shop owner is either going to be a dickhead or he's going to be the best person in the world, because that's the experience you're going to give your client. When they call up and they get a rude experience or an abrupt experience, you're already setting the bar very low with that client. Whereas if they get a really good greeting, a really good service, a streamlined service that everything is just goes in a systematic fashion, they're going to love that experience because it's going to make their life easier and it's going to make your life easier as well. But it's more so about the client. It's all about the client. So who's answering your phone? Are you the kind of person that's underneath the house, you're up in a roof space, you're covered in yellow insulation, you're dogging a cable up the cavity, there's a possum the other end of it playing tug of war, your phone across the roof space, and you're like, I'm not fucking answering that call. Fuck off. When you do that, you will essentially lose a lead. And so many people say online, oh, just cut the call. They'll call back if it's important. Wrong. It's they'll call back if they're desperate or there's no other electrician in the town and or area. In rural areas, you'll probably get away with this, but in cities or major built up areas, people are impatient. People will see you as a stereotype electrician who didn't answer their phone. So they're going to move to the next person. Maybe they've got 2 recommendations. They called you first. You didn't answer. You've left them down. You've burnt that bridge and move on. So I've personally got my phones outsourced. An admin team takes control of my phones for my electrical business. The reason I did this was I had to go back overseas and they had to answer my calls and emails. So that was perfect. I outsourced to them. Everything worked. Nothing broke. It was brilliant. I tweaked and improved the system over time, and it got better and better. And I personally now do not take any phone calls from my electrical business. I do not take calls. And as you will find, being an electrician, if they get a sniff that you're an electrician when they call up, they will almost try and diagnose their problem over the phone. Whereas when it's outsourced, not stereotyping, but it's females that answer my phone, they immediately presume that they're not electricians and they don't ask silly electrical questions or waste their time. We quote it or else go out to it. How you do this or how you give the customer their experience or how you're handling your leads online is absolutely paramount. This then takes us into your lead conversion system. The lead is in our system, but we still haven't got any money. So I'm going to give you an example of fishing. So you're on a boat, there's a guy in the rocks, you're both casting your lines into the ocean. You happen to catch this massive fish. You're reeling it in, and next thing it's just almost in the boat and the line snaps because your system wasn't in place. You didn't have the correct equipment. Swims away over to old mate on the rocks. He picks it up. He's now got that whopper fish. It's the same thing as your electrical business. If you don't have the correct strategies, systems in place in the back end, that fish, when it comes into your system, is going to swim away. Are the leads being handled correctly? In my electrical business, I look at my business like a dashboard. When I go into my job management software, I look at a thing called queues. So when I look at the queues, I see there's new jobs over here. They've been initiated. Have we got the information? Are we waiting for a reply? Are they waiting for a reply? Do we need to quote the job? Is there more information needed? Is the quote sent, etc., etc.? It's very systematic of how you actually think about the full process of the client's journey. If you don't act quickly or you don't have stuff in place, such as your pricing, your pre-built pricing is absolutely paramount to converting your lead. If you've got your pricing pre-built, you're comfortable with your pricing, you've got it all ready to go, ready to fire, be it remotely, you can send that off there and then, or if it is on site, you go out to site and you present the price there, you get the job locked in, you get it booked in. Where I see a lot of people drop the ball is they think they've got all the time in the world. They go to quote the job, they go out there, they chat it with Mrs. Smith. She then says, great, I look forward to getting the quote. Well, they could have done the quote there and then, presented it, got the job over the line. Instead, they let Mrs. Jones simmer for a few days. You've gone back to the office, you've got leisurely, busy, you've forgotten about the quote, you're meant to get back to it, you get back to it, you spend an hour doing the quote, all the research and the parts and bits and pieces, you send the quote and Mrs. Smith comes back and she says to you, don't worry about it, we've had an electrician do it the last 2 days. It's very disheartening, it happens, and it's all because you dropped the ball with your lead conversion system. It's devastating and it happens, and it's just because you don't have these little things in place. And that's why I built the likes of this GPT that will spit out bundles for my members that it makes their quoting process even quicker. I really hope you're after taking something from that for your electrical business that you can deploy into it today. That was the during phase. Next video, we're going to cover the after phase. So that is, the job is locked in. We need to deliver world-class experience. We need to maximize profits on the job. And we need to retain that client for life so that they go back into the system again. And that is what makes it a flywheel. If you want to see that video before anybody else, hit subscribe. You will get that alerted before everybody else. If you're impatient, you want more from me, there's a podcast with 100 odd episodes linked underneath, and also a free marketing course linked as well.